I have two unpopular opinions about I Love LA. So, one of my followers asked me to talk about the show. I finally caught up. I will say, I really like it. I think it is really, really, really funny. Like, every single episode has me laughing out loud, not the pilot, but every other episode has me, like, laughing. I think it is so, so, so funny. My first opinion is that I think True Whitaker should be the main character. I am obsessed with her. I think this girl is a superstar, and I know that she's a Nepo baby. Like, we get it, but at the same time, I think she, like, the natural comedy of her walking into her dad's office looking for a shoe mirror and then sitting down at the meeting and being like, what are we talking about? And talking about her life. Like all of her insane stories, like Robert De Niro taught her how to swim, like all of that stuff is so interesting. And I think back to like 2017, I found the article, but I'm not going to post it here. 2017, Issa Rae said that she wanted to make a show about like rich black kids in Beverly Hills. And I crave that show, right? I will say the unpopular part is that I don't think that we are in an economic moment where we could watch that, right? I think a lot of people are, I just made a video about this, sort of basing their morality based on what they see on the phone. So I think that we are not in the moment of economic crisis that we are in, we're not ready for a show about like rich kids and all of that. Like Gossip Girl was made in peak of the recession, but this moment feels very different. So I don't think that we are ready for a show about characters like True Whitaker's character, but I am obsessed with her. I think she is the funniest part of the show so far. My actual opinion about the show itself is that I don't think that it's necessarily a girls comp. A lot of people are saying that because it's about young people in their 20s trying to make it, it is like girls. And I'm like, I think that the girls of girls wore their hearts on their sleeves a lot more. This is a sort of interesting sort of Gen Z. I know that Rachel Sen is a young millennial, but like this is a sort of Gen Z thing where all sincerity, a lot of people have talked about this. You can find a dozen articles and Substacks about it. All sincerity is sort of washed away under this sheen. There's like a hard protective shell around each of these characters. And all authenticity is hidden. All meaning is lost. Everything is sort of a performance, right? And I think that that is very well done where each of these characters is like performing a different thing except for the boyfriend, right? Every one of these shows has like the normie boyfriend that you ignore. But it's very hard to connect with them emotionally, right? I think the girls of girls got in their own way and they lacked self-awareness. They were messes. They were just like stumbling through life and they openly, except for Marnie, were sort of admitting that they had no idea what they were doing and they were just like careening into these different life paths. Whereas these characters feel very sort of targeted in a way where they're like, this is what I want. And it's like, okay, but why do you want it? And then there's nothing. I don't know what any of their character motivations are except for like being rich and famous, which like, sure, it's 2025, fine. And obviously this can be a commentary on LA, right? This idea that everyone has talked about, that everyone in LA is fake and everyone just wants to be rich and famous and thin. And it's like, okay, and now what, right? Like, I don't know if obviously it's only been 5 episodes, but like I don't know if that is enough to sustain a show. And before the it's not that deep police come after me, sometimes it is that deep, right? Like we watch these shows as commentary. We talk about these things as cultural artifacts because they're supposed to live on beyond us and tell us something about this time, right? Sex and the City is a very specific portrait of like the Bloomberg era of New York, and everyone was trying to make it, and all of these characters ended up being very rich and very successful because that's what the show wanted to be about, right? Girls was a show about millennial striving and how all of these characters were disasters and kept getting in their own way and could never like figure it out, and how sometimes figuring it out takes an unconventional path, right? These characters I feel are so hardened, are so ironic, are so sardonic, are so like online and cool. And like I think that's another thing that's very different. I think the performance of cool is a very specific thing I've talked about on this account, right? I don't believe that you can fake charisma. I don't believe that you can fake cool. All of these characters are pretending to be cool in such a way that it's like, okay. Obviously the emotional core of the show is meant to be the friendship between Rachel Sennett's character and Odessa's character, but I think back, and I feel bad comparing it to Girls over and over again, but I think back to Girls like You're the Wound, Diseases of the Mind and Body, right? All of these like very powerful quotes that showed us this very, very long friendship and the emotional tether there. Whereas these two, it's like, oh my God, remember when you got like attacked at that crazy nightclub? That was so crazy. And it's like, okay, sure. I don't know. Obviously this show is built around an arc. We are building towards something, right? Like we will get emotionality out of these characters. We will get authenticity. We will get, I hope, we will get something real from them. But right now it just feels like I'm watching like Beatles. Like they're so pretty and perfect and jeweled and so cool and so sardonic and so like I'm better than you and I'm this and I'm that. And it's like, okay, but where's the reality? And it's odd being on this side of it because so many shows are so self-aware that they're like, obviously these characters are like pretending to be X or Y or Z, but it's like here the performance goes so many layers that they are like unaware that they're performing maybe. I don't know. Like obviously with the fourth episode Upstairs is we get this idea that like you think that this is cool and it's not actually cool. All of these people are nuts and it's like that's what we want. But I'm waiting to get more and more of that on the emotion side of it. Justice for True Whitaker. I will obviously keep watching. I really like Rachel. I'm excited to see where it goes.